All right, what's up, traders? We got Bradley here once again, and we're going to do a little bit of the Zero to Hero challenge again, see if we can actually make him profitable. This week, we're just going to dive into a little bit of terminology that we missed in a previous week in some of the lessons, and I'll show you that to you guys this week here too. And I've sent him actually a copy of my book this time. I forgot to send it to him. So throughout this week, he's going to have a little bit of homework. So he's going to read the book, make sure he completely understands everything. So for the last 2 weeks, he's going to do even better. He did make a couple mistakes this time. So we're going to dive into those also and see if we can actually fix up any of his problems there. So just go ahead and say hello there, Bradley.
Hello.
Yeah, let's do that one. All right, cool. So yeah, we just got the screen up here right now for Bradley's computer, and he's just going to dive into some of the trades he's currently running and he took last week. Just go ahead there, man.
Yeah, so I'll start off with this one because this is one that I'm actually currently still in on, and that is running very well currently.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously we gapped down quite hard on pound this week. I mean, it retraced most of that, and then on open I saw this sweep. I did want to get in round here, but I think I was like a bit busy, so I actually got in like on this resist or like the support line anyway, which probably was like a good entry still anyway.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was looking at this like this block still here. I mean, it'd been tested like over here, but kind of trying to look to cover back most of that pull from news.
Yeah, fill
And
that
again,
gap.
I mean, I'm still like fundamentally shorting pound, so that I also was happy to take this. And again,
Mm-hmm.
like from the same trade that we looked at, you know, last week even, it was pretty much the same thing, just bouncing off the channel.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, hopefully we can get down to this line again, which is where I'm going to look to take profits. It might go lower, but I mean, it's going to be 155 pips if it comes down to that. So that's where I'm targeting.
Yeah, and if you were to exit right now, you'd still be about 2.5 R, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think it's currently sitting, what, about 125 pips up. So
Yeah.
I'm just letting it run for now, just to kind of see if we can get to the profit, but
I'd
I'm not
be
going to get too greedy with this one.
Yeah, I'd be interested in slowly started taking off the profit there because it is at that resistance. I do notice that you do have the session times on now actually, and you entered this one right about the London Open area after you saw that sweep. So I think that's really good. That's you're taking notes there from the last lesson. I think that's part of the reason you entered because it was during the high volatility timing.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Just wondered if that was a coincidence or not. Awesome. Yeah, that's a great trade, man. Let's jump over to the other one there.
Yeah, so we'll go for the other profitable one. This one wasn't as big of a trade, but I know we both had quite similar thing because I'm pretty sure when you posted your analysis, I was also looking to get on the same trade.
Okay, yeah. This was
Just
something
want
I
to double
posted
check.
in Discord.
Yeah, I think you posted it in analysis like pretty much the same time that I was getting on it.
Perfect.
Let me
Yeah.
just double check if that's where I took profit out. I think I exited a bit higher up because I wasn't really liking how it was moving. It did end up. I was trying to target down here originally, but I think I ended up getting out somewhere around here.
Okay.
So
Why
it's
did you
probably
exit?
a bit more. I mean, we kept getting these massive wicks down,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think I must have just got a bit spooked on this wick and just took the profit. I think I might have actually been trailing the stop a bit as well, and I think I ended up just closing it there because it
Okay.
was. I mean, it was a quick 30 pips, and I
Okay.
wasn't really trying to get any. Wow, it wasn't really looking like it was going to go this low, and then obviously it did come down a bit lower, but I was happy to take it there and then.
Okay. And the reason you entered again, I noticed that it's right on the New York Open, so that was beautiful. And you must have entered because it swept the highs from the London Open,
Yeah.
and then yeah, retested that Asia high. Yeah, that's a beautiful trade, of course. Are you able to jump back down to like the 15 or the 5 minute just to see how that looks for the exit and for the entry?
Yeah, so it was just a 5-minute wick up, and that's pretty much why I got in on it as soon as
Yeah.
it closed under there. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
I did get on it on that 5-minute as well.
Yeah, cool. So, in terms of exiting, though, I still see no reason to have exited this. There was no on the higher time frame sweeping of any lows. On the lower time frame, we weren't even trend changing, as we just saw in the 5-minute there. We could have left this to go all the way down until. Actually, it did sweep that previous low there. I'm just gonna highlight
Yeah,
it on my mouse. Yeah, that one.
I think that's why I exited it when we bounced off of this, because I was
Oh, I
originally
see.
aiming for this low, but when it bounced off of this, I think I must have just got a bit spooked and just took the profit there and
Yeah,
then.
that would have actually been a great exit then if that's why you exited after you saw those sweeps of the lows coming back up. Maybe you watched the 1 minute or something. That would have been a really good exit. And you probably would have gotten stopped at break even if you didn't.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it came all the way back up, pretty much by the end of the US session.
Okay, that's pretty much perfectly executed then also. Yeah, great work. What about the third trade there? You said you have a little bit of trouble with that one.
So I can't find the trade I was looking at, but I think I know this is one that I took that didn't go so well. And I know I got out, well, what was clearly at the right time as well.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to double check where it was that I got out. So yeah, again, I was looking for, again, around the US session, open. I saw
Mm-hmm.
it sweep down. So I was trying to get in around here. I didn't get in quite where I wanted to. I think I got in on this wick up.
Mm-hmm.
We had it pushed up quite quickly. I think I was aiming for this high, and I know I had a resistance level here, and it
Yeah.
wicked up, came back down, wicked up again. I probably should have taken that as the sign to get out there, but I let it run a bit too long, and I think I ended up taking a loss when it came under the this sweep again. So I can't see exactly where I came out because I can't find the trade, but I know it was on one of these candles down here.
Okay, just
So it
roughly
wasn't a
break even.
massive loss.
Okay. Can
Yeah,
you
it was just a little bit.
can you jump to the higher time frame, maybe the 4 hour, just see what it looks like? Yeah, it's that last trade there, isn't
Yeah,
it?
so these two there.
Okay. So I can see why. So if we zoom out a little bit, we generally on the 4 hour here, we're kind of just ranging with a small bias to the downside. And then we're reaching that untested level. As you can see, let me see if I can highlight it here for the viewers. The level that it actually did reject off of. So if you zoom back in, you see that previous high, the green candle, just to the left
This
there.
one.
Yeah, that one there. So we actually did see that it was testing that perfectly, and this was just a last little push to stop people out. And unfortunately, you didn't necessarily do too much wrong, but we did have that major downtrend bias. So it would have been a risky idea to be longing when we're reaching that resistance, even though we did see the previous 3 or 4 days of bullish side, right? And you just got to be a little bit more careful when we're seeing such a ranging market like that. If you zoom back into, let's say, the 5-minute, and then look at that chart. Okay, zoom in on where it basically reversed. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not really giving us a whole lot of indication as to exiting here. We don't see any previous highs that needed to be swept and then reversed. The only thing that basically gives me the indication to exit is that upward move was eaten up equally as fast, if not faster, than the down move was much faster than the upward
Yeah.
move, if that makes sense there. That's the only indication that was one of these scam wicks, right, where they're gonna fake you out. But other than that, there's not a whole lot you could have done in exiting the trade. I think you just took a little bit of a risky entry there. That was all I can really see that you did wrong necessarily. Yeah, other than that,
Yeah.
looks pretty good. Okay, you can see the document here.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is just part of the book that I sent you there, and it's just something that I don't think we went over earlier that might be kind of useful to some of the people there on the viewers, some of the viewers, yeah. And so we're basically just going to talk about the difference between kind of order block and breakers and break of market structure. And so when we're looking at an order block is just simply a point of interest before a major move. So this is a bearish order block right here, and that's because we're going to see that major dump. We can also kind of talk about this as a supply zone in an untested supply zone. So when we're talking about different order blocks, this is definitely an area that we want to keep of interest, so that the price, when it does come back here, that we're going to watch for the lower time frame trend changes around that area. And this we kind of already talked about a little bit, but it's just better to kind of overview it. So if we see this is a bullish side here, that this was actually a trade that I took and then I just threw it in here. It was actually good timing. So this is again a bullish order block because of untested level after a major move to the upside, and then we can see it quite clearly come back down here. So the reason that I entered a trade there is because we saw these lows being made and it's slowing, and we knew that there was going to be stops there, and quite obviously we knew that there was going to be resting orders here, so we just placed a limit order there after we wanted to get to the upside there, right, knowing that this was a bullish bias in the trend already. Cool. So breakers, very, very similar. Breakers are essentially a order block that is preceded by a sweep, right? So this was a sweep and then we broke back down. So we'll see that after it breaks below, it often comes back and tests that breaker, and the breaker will often line up with another order block, as you can see right here, and that's the actual breaker itself. So the breaker is a little bit stronger, and we do kind of trade these already in the strategies that I talked about in terms of that sweep and then trend change strategy. So this is kind of where it sweeps, trend change, and then we retest the breaker itself. So the break of market structure is basically an engulfing candle, right? So we can see that on the higher time frame here, we're in an uptrend, and then we break that structure with a very engulfing candle. So what we want to look for here is this is basically what it looks like on the higher time frame when we were looking for these trend changing patterns. So we saw that uptrend there on the lower time frame, and then we break back below the level that brought us to the high right there. So you can see how it's breaking on the lower time frame, and that's actually the break of structure on the higher time frame. So it's just a little bit different way to look at it when we're actually changing the trend, and that's kind of why these engulfing candles work so well sometimes, that some people like to trade them. So the thing to note, after we see a break of trend like that, we can look for these untested levels right here, right, and then enter short on there, or we can draw a line on the higher time frame candle body and then enter short when it comes back and retests that. As you can see, it did perfectly right there too. Yeah, so that's basically all I wanted to talk about with the breakers, and hopefully that kind of helps you understand what the chart looks like a little bit there.
Yeah, I guess it's good to know. I think I know or notice stuff like that anyway, so it's good to know, like in like a written kind of thing with like a more formal explanation. I normally just see them as like buyer traps and like seller traps and stuff like that. Is that kind of like similar?
Yeah,
It's like that there's going to be a lot of resting orders in those places because that's where people have been either trapped in the market or looking to enter into the market as well.
Yeah, there's all different ways to look at basically the same thing, and this is stuff that we've talked about before. It's just something that I think I recently added this 3.5 to my book there, and I sent it to everyone. So I just wanted to update you on that. It's essentially the same stuff we've been talking about, just a different way to look at it, right?
Yeah.
All right, man.
All right, cool.
So I think that's everything. I'll chat with you next week, okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Bradley's coming along quite nicely. We're teaching him a little bit more and more. He's already learned basically everything. It's just basically coming down to reviewing little bits here and there. I'll put up his actual profits here for this week so that you can see in a screenshot, and hopefully next week is going to be even better. If you like this series, make sure you hit the subscribe button, guys, and watch the streams every Monday to Friday. I do streaming, and you're going to be able to really learn much more in detail knowledge of how we trade here at Hunter FX.
Listen.